Good morning, everybody. Although we've obviously got a lot of Ken Kratz investigations by the Department of Justice to look through, today I want to talk a little bit about the idiocracy of certain guilters, or should they really be haters. Let me take you back to what date was it? I think it was about the 16th of September. There was a person commented on one of my videos back then, and I think I've mentioned this particular person before. We don't know because they go by the name of just stating the truth. I would suggest it's just supporting the lies. But anyway, we don't know whether they're a boy or a girl, male or female, but it might be reasonable to assume that if 80% of the supporters of Steve and Brendan are female, probably it's more likely that just supporting the truth, just supporting the lies is a female. So I'm going to refer to just supporting the lies, supporting the truth, as she calls herself as a she. And she wrote back then, "I would like to hear what Capaldi does to honour Teresa's memory, besides just spelling her name right." Well, I would have to point out that spelling her name right is quite an important thing. I think it's quite disrespectful to spell her name incorrectly. It shows a very poor standard of just brain power. It just shows a complete and utter mediocrity in your thinking. So spelling her name right, as far as I'm concerned, is very important. She carries on, "Did you donate any money to her family? Did you start a college fund in her name?" Well, I know that there was a college fund started at the university college that she went to help up-and-coming photographers. So you can check that out. I'll leave the link below to the college fund. What do you do? ? Give me an example, and don't give me that shit. This is the other thing. Vulgarities, constant vulgarities. Are you trying to upset me? I am not upset. Disappointed? Yeah. Disappointed because there's no need for vulgarities. But as I say, that just shows the level of mediocrity that you aspire to. And don't give me that shit. I tried to find her real killers, because this ain't about that. We all know it's all about Stephen Avery for you. As I say, just very mediocre, very, very poorly written, not bothered about spellings. So anyway, I replied to, as I like to call her, just supporting the lies. I replied with, "Will sending money to the Halbachs or a college fund bring Teresa back?" Of course it won't. "Is her memory insulted by wrongfully convicting 2 innocent men?" Absolutely. "Will finding the real killer bring justice for Teresa, Stephen and Brendan?" This is what you need to remember. Rather than sending me vulgarities, think about it. Use your common sense. Have a think about it for a moment. Don't be blinded by your hatred, or what you think is your hatred, of the Averys. I wrote, "I haven't sent money to the Halbachs or the college fund. But if you have, I don't think it was you that set up the college fund, but if you've sent money to either the college fund or the Halbachs, then I applaud you. However, another thing I haven't done is I haven't given the Halbachs back animal bones. What I haven't done is to convict 2 innocent men. And remember, 2 innocent men that were convicted using planted evidence. The planted bullet, the planted bones, the planted key, the planted sweat DNA, the planted blood, the confession in Brendan's head. These are all things that were planted. Do you know what they couldn't plant were fingerprints, because it's very, very difficult, virtually impossible to plant fingerprints. And this is the reason why there are none of Stephen Avery's inside or outside of the RAV4. And you must surely know that. The other thing I put in it out was that what I will continue to do is to talk about this case. Because guiltists simply want us to shut up about it. And you have to wonder, why are they so afraid of Stephen and Brendan simply receiving a new trial? Why are they so afraid of Kathleen Zellner being given further evidence to test? Because if Stephen and Brendan are really guilty, she will prove it and it will cost the state nothing. Anyway, we then had a gap of over a month. She sent another comment, a couple of comments that I screenshot, but again, very vulgar, very bad language, absolutely no need whatsoever. You lose complete and utter credibility when you degenerate to that level of talk. You lose the plot, you lose the argument. And you know what? The worst bit of it is that you don't actually feel any better for having used those words anyway. It doesn't help you at all. You don't feel any better for having sent it. If anything, you feel slightly guilty about, or at least normal people would feel slightly guilty about vulgarities being sent. Anyway, you wrote back, as I say, after what was that, a month and 10 days. No, not quite a month and 10, just over a month anyway. I say with that very nasty, calling me names. You remind me of some of the worst politicians that try and outshout one another. He who shouts the loudest gets to dispel the other person. Well, no. People with common sense, they look, they listen, they frown on that sort of stuff, and they think, what on earth are those idiots trying to do? Anyway, we got another message with slightly less expletives. She wrote, "We get it. Ken Kratz and Stephen Avery are really creepy guys. You, meaning me, are a really creepy guy yourself. You don't know me. You've never met me. Nonsense. But just for your information, I've had better insults off Eric Cozy than that. When I showed it to him, he just laughed. He just laughed at you. And that's what he said. You've never met me. You don't know me. You've never been to my house. Anything like that. It's just pathetic. It's just idiocracy. Okay. You then carry on with something very, very bizarre. You wrote, "You donate money to a family who films children and women changing in a bathroom." I didn't know they did that at the Centre for Wrongful Convictions, because that's the only place I've ever sent money to. So I donate money to a family who films children and women. Where did you get that from? I have no idea. Are you suggesting that I've donated money to the Averys? Okay, You donate money to a family who films children and women changing in a bathroom, who has a long history of serious domestic violence, such as beating and choking women. Let's just deal with that first. At trial, Ken Kratz tried to introduce what are known as other acts. These are other things that he tried to introduce to purposely try and spoil the character, a character assassination of Stephen Avery. Even Judge Patrick Willis, who acquiesced to just about everything that the state wanted, even he would not agree to that, because they were completely uncorroborated, without any merit whatsoever. A little bit like our jailhouse snitch, on a similar level, very similar level to a jailhouse snitch. You wrote, Stephen Avery even accused Earl of stalking women customers, who burns animals, plural, alive, and then you constantly attacking, as I say, the grammar and the spelling and the words are all over the place. And then you constantly attacking the murder victim's family, who doesn't have any history of that whatsoever. And even your God KZ has asked you to stop attacking the Halbachs. You continue, you don't donate any money to them. Okay, I think I get what she was trying to say there. I am constantly attacking the family. No. Mike Halbach, yes. He has a lot of, to use the colloquial, splaining to do. He has to explain what he said. The journalists need to explain why they didn't feature it more, why they didn't query it. The investigators need to explain why they didn't ask Halbach about Mike Halbach, about the grieving process when Teresa was still only missing. And to say that the grieving process could last, he said, the grieving process, could last days, weeks, years. Days? Does that not strike you as being a little bit of a strange thing to say? Are you not aware of, by what he's just said, he's made it perfectly clear that he is well aware of the demise of his sister. Now, in terms of the body language of Karen Halbach and some of the things that she said, I think we can give her a little bit of leeway. I think it's a case of, once we know all the facts, then we can point to whether somebody was giving away, betraying their thoughts in their actions. But no, I've never, the only person I've ever criticised is Mike Halbach. So let's be clear about that, okay? I know in next video you will say with your KK smirk, at least we didn't give animal bones back to the Halbachs. And then you carry on, it's an overused and very stupid line. It's actually, do you know what it is? It's called a state law. It was written by Norm Garn. It's a statute. It is something that shouldn't have been, it shouldn't have happened. It's quite simple. Yes, we're going to keep going on about it because we know how much of an important factor that is. If you ask the Halbachs what is more disrespectful, they would definitely say making a documentary that lies and edits out most of the truth to make her murderer look innocent and then try to make it look like her own family had something to do with the murder, they would definitely say that is more disrespectful. As I say, it does get a bit tiresome trying to read when there is absolutely zero punctuation. As I say, you just come across as an idiot. You're coming across as an angry and abusive rant. You write incredibly poorly. Virtually everything you say is irrelevant. And the worst of it is that you're allowing your hostility towards the Avery, towards the fact that Yes, Teresa lost her life. It certainly looks that way, although, as I say, we still don't have all the evidence. We've never had all of the evidence. That's what we need. We need all the evidence. We need everything tested for DNA. We need Kathleen Zellner to be given everything so that she can then show us exactly what was happening here. But you allow your hostility towards Avery, the family, to blind you to the important facts. However, if you go onto Facebook, you'll find me under Paul Capaldi, picture of me with my mates under Sydney Harbour Bridge. Very easy to find, the only Paul Capaldi in Galashiels. Send me a message. I'm quite happy to have you come on and do a live chat with me. And you present because you are, supposedly, you are just supporting the truth. So let's hear what you've got to say. But I warn you, you better bring your best game. You had better bring your best game. Are you up for the challenge? Because I certainly am. And I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to use vulgarities. So come on. Just send me a message. Bye for now.